I'm Colin Dickerson, and this informative speech will be about the Houston Texans. Got a panorama of the room. It's my audience. According to Forbes.com, the National Football League brought in a little more than $9 billion in revenue last year alone. One of those 32 teams that contributed to the massive amounts of money brought in is the Houston Texans. The Texans are the newest franchise in the NFL, yet Forbes.com already evaluates the team as the fifth most expensive. The Texans played their first season in 2002 and have played 13 seasons so far. Recently, the Texans have been through some major staff and player changes, including the hiring of former Penn State head coach Bill O'Brien. By now, everyone knows who the Houston Texans are, but starting a franchise from scratch while the rest of the league has been playing for years is not an easy task. The first few seasons, the Texans' offense was scarce to none, as the defense was the only thing keeping them afloat. For example, in their first season ever, the Texans beat the Steelers with only 47 yards of total offense, setting the NFL record for least amount of yards, resulting in a victory. The Texans scored multiple defensive touchdowns that led them to a 24-6 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their first season ended in a poor 4-12 record, and the next few years were similar, as the Texans had no luck finding any sort of an offense. After the Houston Oilers moved their franchise to Nashville as the Tennessee Titans, Houston was granted another NFL team under the ownership of Bob McNair. The Texans were added to the AFC South along with the Indianapolis Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Tennessee Titans. McNair proceeded to hire Dom Capers in January of 2002 as the first head coach to help build the team from scratch. Chris Palmer was then hired as the first offensive coordinator, and Vic Fangio was hired as the first defensive coordinator to aid the Houston staff to get ready for the first NFL game in the fall. In 2006, the Texans played the Oakland Raiders and had a total of -5 passing yards, yet still managed to win. This is another example of the Houston having a terrible offense yet managing the win. The team has never had a winning season until 2009 under head coach Gary Kubiak. In recent years, the Texans have developed more of an offense with Gary Kubiak as the head coach. Kubiak managed to win the AFC South 2 years in a row in 2011 and 2012 with the help of quarterback Matt Schaub, running back Arian Foster, and future Hall of Famer Andre Johnson. The team made it to the second round of the playoffs in both of those years, but failed to make it any further. In 2013, the team had a fallout and ended up 2-14 for the season. This lost Kubiak his job, who ended up being fired in the middle of the season. Wade Phillips, the previous defensive coordinator at the time, took over as interim head coach, but did not manage to win any more games the rest of the season and was fired shortly after. As fans attempted to wipe out memories from the 2013 season, McNair hired Bill O'Brien as the new head coach for the 2014 season. Bill O'Brien showed promise in his first year as head coach after a 7-game turnaround as the team went 9-7. All the while, the team was having problems staying healthy, as three of our starting quarterbacks were injured. All-pro running back Arian Foster was not able to play the whole season, and first overall pick Jadeveon Clowney played no more than a few games. For the 2015 offseason, there are still many questions the Texans need to answer before beginning the next season. The starting quarterback position is still up for grabs as ex-Cleveland quarterback Brian Hoyer competes with Ryan Mallett for the starting position. Although offense seems to be the main problem for the Texans over history, O'Brien and general manager Rick Smith decided to improve the defense and help out arguably the best player in the NFL right now, J.J. Watt, by drafting a cornerback and a linebacker as our first 2 picks of the draft. Things are looking bright for the Houston Texans as the sky is the limit for years to come. Starting in 2002, the Texans have built up their franchise with the help of players like Andre Johnson, Arian Foster, and J.J. Watt. They have managed to make the playoffs 2 out of the last 4 years and are looking like quite the competitor for the 2015 season. It usually takes many years for new franchises to build up a Super Bowl team, but with a little luck, the Texans may be able to play at home in Super Bowl 51, which will be held in Houston in 2017. Thank you.